What's going on, guys? Sekapoko here, bringing you another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. For this, we'll be going over Bandai's latest debacle, I guess we'll call it. I mean, honestly, we had a lot of names for it on stream. There was Y2 Gemmy, the Gempocalypse, a lot of little funny names. But we'll be going over what happened on New Year's for 2019 or New Year's 2020, depending on where you are in the world. And the way Bandai handled it afterward, as well as I'll give you small opinions, not large, big, grandiose opinions. But guys, without further ado, let's go and jump right into it. Alright guys, so let's talk about the bug really briefly, and I'll talk about exactly what happened. So essentially, in the game, what happened was if you were participating in the 55 million download event, you were able to go into your rewards if you complete a certain amount of rewards that receive gems and rewards and everything, and you were able to receive your rewards and then re-receive them and then receive them again and again and again and again, and you just got to infinitely receive your rewards. So because of this, people, not myself, first up, was not able to, so you know what I can do. We're able to just receive rewards consistently and get tons and tons of forbidden tomes, tons of almighty manuals, tons of tablets, a lot of crazy stuff, as well as gems as well. So it's a little unfortunate what happened. So because of this, the game went on maintenance and people were going crazy with gems. But also to that point, we're also getting this huge thing from Bandai. It's very long. So the TLDR is, they're telling us, hey, when you approve the 555 download bill, you're able to get all the things we just mentioned. And everything through this, people were able to do lots of pulls or lots of buy things through the Ray shop, buy different box space, etc. So it was super cool for a very short amount of time, and everybody was having very much fun with it. So going into this, we're currently investigating in the affected characters for other items, and the following action will be taken. So this is what is happening. Erroneous amounts of gems are going to be deducted from the current rainbow gems that you have. Basically, it's a gem rollback. So that's the short version. Characters recruited during the erroneous set rainbow gems will be revoked. As in, if you pulled during the time of that, the Y2 Gemmy or the Gempocalypse, all those characters are getting removed from your account. Characters recruited during special rare recruit obtained from Bazaar using training points obtained from exchanging characters recruiting the above method. Any special rare recruits still not redeemed from your mail that was obtained from spending training points from above methods will be voided. Exchange limit in Bazaar will be reset for the applicable or special rare recruit after the void have been made. So they're capping you and they're saying no more. Okay. Wow. Okay. Training points gathered from exchanging characters recruiting to the Sugo Fest, the erroneous rainbow gems will be deducted from your current amount. Characters recruited from the special rare recruits using the erroneous spatial rainbow gems will be revoked. Additionally, training points gained by exchanging characters from recruiting exchanging rainbow. Blah, blah, blah. I just read all that. I don't know why they put it twice. I think it was a mistake. Items. The following items will be that were erroneously distributed will be deducted from your inventory. Any almighty manuals that you got, any forbidden tomes, any slot bind resistance tablets, recovery resistance tablets, barrier penetrations, pinch healing, provoked attack boost, critical attack, all the tablets basically are being removed from your account. Okay, caution, this is the big one. Rainbow gems items training points will not be deducted over your current amount. However, if a user is found intentionally using erroneous distributed items after the maintenance, we may take action based on the terms of service for One Piece Treasure Cruise. If a character is subject to be revoked, if a character subject to be revoked is formed in your crew, you may see an error in the crew menu. It is advised to remove such a character from the crew. As a token of apology for the emergency maintenance, we're sending everybody one rainbow gem. So you get for a super extremely long maintenance, you're going to be one gem. Okay. Again, I'm not going to give any opinions here. I'm assuming y'all have your own opinion at this point, and you're very either upset or just happy for free gems. Not going to say anything, because that is a 10-foot pole that you can't win in this day and age right here. Additionally, the following items will be sent to the user's token of apology for the error. The following items will be sent after all the erroneous distributed items have been voided. The action will be currently planned for January 7th, because that's when they get back from vacation. Rainbow gems times 50, forbidden tomes, all the forbidden tomes that you can get in the entire world, all of the tablets that you can get on the entire world times 1, and that's it. So, the short version of what I think about what happened in that 3-hour period is it was probably the largest screw up in all of gacha history that I've ever seen. The one that happened to Naruto Ninja Blazing was nowhere near this. The one that happened in Dokkan was nowhere near this, and this one was probably the largest screw up that ever happened. It's such a big screw up that it allowed players to have thousands of gems. There are people with tens of thousands of gems. Even people on my stream yesterday were saying they had 20,000 gems. So there is a large amount of gems that people had on their account. And Bandai saying, we screwed up, and don't use the things that you got for free in the game due to a bug, even though they didn't really notice that it was a bug until it was hours later. So beyond this post has been edited, and as new information is released by Bandai, new information will be added to the top of the permanent post. There's tons of comments here, and this is where things get dicey. Here, this one says, from the operator, they banned in the past for breaking TOS and PvP events. Not a stretch to think that they might do it here. Seeing as in the main news post for the subreddit, I'd avoid encouraging people to abuse the glitch. Honestly, that is probably a very smart thing right there. That sentence is good. Continuing to abuse the glitch is not advised at this point. They have banned people from the TM, not from the game. I've actually seen a few bans from the game, I think. You don't need to encourage people. Just post what they said. People take the decisions they want to take. Supposedly, they are investigating individually. I wonder if Global Team still gets their vacation till the 4th. This is also a crazy thing from Fate of Muffins. I feel like they're missing several important issues, though. Even though they're investigating individually, they can't roll back anymore because that will be weeks of time. What about the box base? What about the limit break and mats pulled and duped? What about if you use them and remedy your legitimate units? Keep the rainbow. Surely you can't delete the units, or there'd be a massive riots. They also can't revert the units because as they mentioned, they're giving you a week and a lot can happen in a week. I agree. They're basically they gave you a bunch. There's a bunch of free stuff that a lot of people have, and then there's a week time where they're saying don't use that stuff. Here's 50 gems so you won't use it, and that's kind of bullshit. I agree with that. That'll say. Speaking of limit break mats, what about the treasure mode? Can you distinguish between the legitimate tablets and being dropped and the exploited ones? I agree. Also, how do you tell which ones are legitimate or exploited? Especially since you're going to use some of the units. What about players that are newly pulled units? That's an easily unfair advantage over those who actually have legitimately pulled for the boosters. That'll be easily unfair advantage. Oh, sorry. Will people be requesting refunds for the TMs to go? If I were Bandai, I'd refund my own violation. How fucked the TM was. You know what? This is crazy. This is a very good point. So it's a huge disadvantage that players are going to have in treasure mode now. There's all these people that are going to have these quote-unquote illegitimate units. And these people will be able to do very, very well in treasure mode if they want to, and do exceedingly well in general. But if Bandai somehow wants to say, hey, we want to lock out these units, that's going to be a little weird. Plus, how do you tell if it was, if it's a unit on your account that you pulled that was illegitimate, quote unquote? Yeah. What about the people who had gems and got a couple times and they pulled, and if they had 150 legitimate gems and those pullable gems was legitimate, or they reverted? That's also a good point. So, to be honest, Bandai's refusal of handling the situation and the way that it was handled in the mail, I am not a big fan of. Personally, we actually were talking on stream, and these concerns were in the top of my list. So There were people that were pulling and having thousands and thousands of gems and having a great time. And honestly, it's really cool that they had those gems. The reality is, like, the best case scenario is Bandai let everybody have the gems and also gave everybody 500 gems. Like that's what we said on stream. But what they ended up doing is they're saying, hey, you know what? We're gonna do one of the worst things that they could do is they're gonna take everything, all the items in your account, block items that you've gotten during that time frame, and handle it later, but also give you only 50 gems. And a lot of people are very disappointed with that fact, I'm assuming, if you were part of this gem apocalypse. So that is that's a little bit frustrating. I can definitely see that. I think that the best solution is the one that they did. However, the reward amount that they gave out, I believe, was insufficient, because the amount of inconvenience that they have provided onto players is too large to get away with a measly 50 gems. The amount that this has been done to people's accounts, we're talking thousands of gems are now being removed, and thousands of tablets, thousands of forbidden tomes, almighty menus, all that stuff, and all the use of those things may also be affected as well. And even though it was quote unquote a glitch or a bug or an exploit, now because you did that, and it wasn't like something that was like super difficult to do. It was very easy. You just went to your mail and then you accepted it and you accepted it again. And also, if you didn't know it was an exploit and you just went to your mail and then you just kept accepting your mail, I mean, I could see somebody going, okay, why am I getting so many mails? And then after like a few hundred gems going, okay, why do I have so many gems? Is this just a crazy New Year's event? And then trying to go figure it out, and then going somewhere else and then spending your gems because you want to spend them, and then without looking at Reddit or anything else, you just go in and go, oh, you see on Reddit, you're like, oh crap, this is an exploit, this is a bug, oh shit, what do I do? I can definitely see there being a player out there that accepted multiple times and did not know that they were accepting multiple times. The reason I can see that is because there have been many instances over the course of, I'd say, years, where Bandai's staggered releases over time, and over the course of a few hours has even happened, just because their servers were slow. It's happened before. And when you go back in your mailbox and receive rewards, it makes sense. I mean, at a certain point, your IQ has to hit in, you have to say something's up with this, I don't know what's going on. But I mean, if it happened a few times and then you ended up pulling because of that, and then you have illegitimate units on your account, and your account's now like weirded out and fucked up for a little while, that's gonna piss off a person that, you know, just was not paying attention. So that also has to be taken into account. People that, you know, may not even know it was a bug and were just, you know, getting free gems and they thought it was great. This guy over here this should be put towards the top. I'm paid to play and use this glitch, and I went ham. I rainbowed a ton of units. I sold a bazaar to the bazaar maxed out box space. I'll be not be using my units after the 7th, and if they take them, that's fine. But if they fuck up my existing rare recruits because I rainbowed them with glitch pull characters, then they're gonna have a problem with the majority of the player base. I agree. If Bandai decides to revert any of the items that were procured on the account, like socket tomes, special up stuff, all that's going to be some huge problems. To be honest, items are the thing that is the most precarious with this whole thing. The gems can be revoked, and characters retaining these things can be revoked. I'm pretty sure the majority of the player base is a little upset about that, but also fine with it because it's game breaking, to be honest. But the items, though, that is something that is a whole other mess. And if they lock out certain units that received skill ups and received tablets because of this, that's going to be a huge problem. So that's the biggest problem, is the box space and all the other things that were required. So the fact that it's not being handled till after the 7th is also a major issue as well. So I believe that Bandai is handling the situation a little bit improperly. I think they panicked. Like the email, the in-game message they sent feels rushed. But to be honest, they were on vacation. They came back to the office very freaking out, and they tried to fix everything as quick as possible. So, I mean, of course it's going to be rushed. So, you know, I understand that completely. I understand that it's going to be a little bit tougher. And people are just gonna have to deal with that. Overall, people are buying ships. There's tons of things that people are buying. This is a thing from Carantis. Honestly, at this point, I'm not even sure what I'm allowed to do or whatnot. Might as well not touch the game at all if they're leaving everything open like this. What if I want to rainbow my legends with legit tablets? I had it beforehand, now I'm mixed in with nuclear bomb tablets. Can I use the gems to refill the stamina? Or I'll get terminal illness because my balls touch their infected ones. As I am locked out. I'm locked out of socketing my units for Forbidden Tomes because they're actual Forbidden Tomes now. With the smartphone will explode be able to open a game. This is such a half-assed solution. We need to play Minesweeper on what we'll actually do or not do. Just shut down the game for a whole week, fix the shit, and distribute appropriate compensation. This whole state of affairs is a steaming pile of shit and incompetence. I agree. This is probably the most. This is probably the best opinion that I've seen so far. This is a big shitstorm, and Bandai really needs to walk on eggshells here because there are a lot of players that have a mixed bag, and if they quote unquote abuse the glitch, that's not saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying this is a problem, and there's a large portion of the player base. We're not talking a very small group of people. We're not talking a few hundred people. We're talking thousands of people. So, in the game as small as the global community, that's a huge percentage of people, and they really should lock out the game for a larger period of time because no one knows what's fair at this point. And the longer they lock out the game at this point, the better. But the 50 gem reward that they're giving out to everybody, that is a super small amount in comparison to how big this group was. This is a major mess up, and 50 gems is really just not going to cut it as far as a thank you, or thank you for continuing to playing and here's a sorry. It's so insignificant. Like the amount of time, it's basically saying we're trying to minimize the significance of this issue. It is not a big deal. We're gonna fix it. But yeah, and then they're trying to throw in there's TOS at the end of that, and that part I really don't like as well. They try to throw in TOS at the end of this and say don't abuse this. It's part of our TOS. That is also kind of like if you release something into the game and a majority of the player base can just continuously activate it in a mail, they can't even know it's a bug because they didn't even know they didn't know it was a bug until you said it was a bug because you didn't say anything it was a bug on the official Twitter account. I mean, obviously people are intelligent enough to figure that out, but you didn't say anything, so how are they supposed to know? That's a little I don't know, iffy on that one. So I agree with that last one. The rewards that we're getting are very insignificant. The overall thought I'm getting here from this is that people are really just not satisfied with the way this is being handled. And we actually took polls on the stream yesterday, and there was probably at max, I think it was like 480, 50, 460 people there. There's a lot of people there, and with the people there, we were asking what would be satisfactory, what would be okay for you, and the amount of people that responded was like 1 in the chat was if you'll be okay with a 50 gem reward, 2 in the chat if you have 500, 3 in for 1,000, and then or something like that. I think it was, and very few players would said 50. They're like no one thought it would be enough to say 50. 500, the majority of people will be satisfied with, but not happy with. And 1,000 gems, everybody's like over the moon. Okay. Now, of course, giving everybody 1,000 gems because of this mess is highly irregular. But you would have to shut down the game for a large amount of time to remove everything from news, and that's the only way that you would be able to get people to be excited about this. And giving people that amount of gems is actually a good thing, and not a hey, I want free gems way. The reason it's a good thing is because One Piece Treasure Cruise is on this teetering pot where we hit this point in Japan content where we're like, hey, I don't really like playing the content anymore, and that's just not myself. That's a large portion of player base out there. So watch out. That is, go look. There's a lot of JP diehards out there still, and the people that will play the game forever. But a large portion of that JP community has shrunk significantly. So just know that we hit that point in Japan, and when we get to global here, and now that we're hitting that point in global, we're at this point where we kind of need something to reinvigorate us to playing the game. We don't need your bullshit TOS thing right now. We don't need TOS monster stuff. We don't need, hey, don't use your stuff. There's a 50,000 foot cake in front of you. Don't eat your cake. I'll give you 2 cakes tomorrow, and they'll both be of smaller miniature size, and you'll be happy with it. We don't need that. We need a large hype wave to get everybody excited about the game, people pulling in the game, new players into the game, a lot of different things. And you're not going to get new players invigorated in the game, old players excited about the game if you give everybody 50 gems. It's a small reward. It's not going to be enough, and I hope that you change your mind on this and decide to lock up the game for a longer period of time to fully fix the issue, because even if you're on vacation for a week, this is unacceptable, and the large amount of player base that I am talking to about this are very dissatisfied with this current state of the game, and it is not good. It is really not good. So please Bandai, I urge you to do something different here and reinvigorate your player base with a surge of gift giving. And this is not it. This is a fraction of what you should be doing, because the amount that you've messed up here, in my opinion, is so large that I would not conceivably see how you could have messed up more. So that is my opinion. That's the last part that I'll say. But I'm not gonna say Bandai or Bandai's jerks or anything like that, because at this point they're on vacation. They rushed back to the office to get this handled, and there's legitimately it ruined their New Year's Eve or their New Year's, depending on where they were, and they had to fix this right away. And I think they're in California, so it was New Year's Eve around like 9 o'clock, and they basically had to spend New Year's Eve probably in the ball drop and everything just to get this fixed. So it's a very precarious time for them. So for you guys in the player base that are still watching this, just know that Bandai, even though they're giving out insignificant awards and they're not handling this appropriately, they are going back on vacation, and be a little understanding of that. But also, Bandai, this is a band-aid on a stab wound that's massive and bleeding. So while you're on vacation, that little sprig of hope that we had for you guys being really cool, it's dwindling. So, step it up just a little bit from this, and everything will be gravy. So I also wanted to go over one thing while we were on the stream before I wrap up this video. As far as we actually went over many different polls over the stream, and with large amounts of people there. And this is the hardcore fan base, the One Piece Treasures community. And we asked around, hey, the most significant thing we asked is right after we got a tweet out from Nick, who was from Bandai, who is the community manager. He said, we're going to handle everything, don't use everything, and everything is going to be handled fairly. I asked the entirety of the stream, do you trust Bandai to handle this fairly? Yet 1 for yes, 2 for no, and the amount of 2s was over 95, and probably 90 to 95% of the people that handle this. So Bandai, the thought from the community is that we don't trust you to handle things fairly, and the 50 gem reward that you gave out really shows that. So, and your band-aid on the situation also shows that. So just know that this is a very precarious situation that you probably need to handle a little bit differently than you are now. So just a tip. All right, guys, so I got into the game. It took over like 10 minutes and everything, and probably as long as I took to record the video. My name is Sekapoko. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Of course, as you can see, I did not go into the glitch and do everything. First off, I couldn't. Second, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did enjoy, of course, like and subscribe, and you guys have a fantastic rest of your day. Peace.